this big quadruple barrel on. Good solid wood, no rot in this stuff. A lot of nice smoker wood out of these. Alright, 3 more. What's going on, guys? Here to pick up some apple wood. And I'm just looking at these sugar maple trees. I couldn't identify them before because they got this symmetrical ridging on the bark. But that's how sugar maple can grow sometimes. So I'm pretty sure all 3 of these, because they all look the same, pretty sure they're all sugar maple. Now that I think about it, looking at the branches, yeah, you could tell just by the way the branches grow, but you can also see that some of the leaves are still on the tree, and that's what happens with the sugar maples. But even how I was just identifying this one was, I found this one here. So that's a dead giveaway. Some English oaks along there, and then some pine, white pine. And here's our apple wood. And there's like a couple different kinds of apple that we get here. And a lot of times these trees are not even planted, it's just somebody threw an apple core. Sometimes you can find apple trees along the side of the road because people chuck their apple cores in the ditch, or, well, you don't really want them from the ditch unless it's, say, high up, right? Because of the road pollution that goes into the soil. Try golf courses, that's where you can find some apple wood, because guys are just eating apples as they're putting holes. Sometimes they just chuck the apple core in the bush, you know? So keep an eye out for the apple, because this stuff is really good hardwood actually. I was burning this in my stove the other day, and there was some wood that was a little bit rotten, but I had one piece that was about this big. It was about this thick, and that piece was in there, and it just burned for like 2.5 hours. I watched it after like 2 hours, and it was this nice hard chunk of coal. It wasn't like when the coals are wet and then you'll just have that one piece that won't break down when you hit it with the poker. It just stayed like that, and it was still like red hot coals on it. It was like glowing, right? So I'm really standing behind apple for firewood. All right, let's do this. Looks to be close to a full load, just like the guy said. I'm up in Richmond Hill. That is just north of the center of Toronto. Not on the border of Toronto. There's a bit of Markham. The west side of Markham is south of here. And Markham ends at Yonge Street. Yonge Street is our center line. And that's the longest street in the world. I believe it goes up to Kenora or something, way on the northwest side of Ontario. Up near the Minnesota border, Lake of the Woods. I think that's how far it goes. But it is still the longest street in the world. So I'm just west of Yonge Street, and I'm a few major city blocks up. You'll see there's a little bit of rot where it's just mush inside, but a lot of this wood is good. Almost all of it's good. The thing with apple is it rots. And that's actually why it's got this color too. Because that's what happens with trees. You know, I get a lot of tree service wood, and you see the coloring in the center. And a lot of times that's just because the tree is rotten. That happens with the sugar maple too. Sugar maple should be nice and creamy color right through. Of course, some wood, it's natural because it has a color to the hardwood, right? It's gonna be a heavy load too, guys. I hope it's not a full load. This stuff is unforgiving. Another piece rotten right through. I was supposed to come last night, but I didn't feel like coming. Yesterday I just felt lazy. A bit of a snow in the evening, so it was rush hour. I have to go northbound, right? That's where people exodus from the city to go home. A lot of people here, they live in the suburbs, not only of Toronto, but the suburban cities around Toronto. So it's not fun trying to come up the highway here. southwest of Toronto. That's where the wood yard is anyway. Sorry, I'm in the southeast of Toronto. So, I come on the highway all the way up. It's not fun that time of day. Heavy stuff, guys. Okay, almost there, guys. I guess we got 2/3 on now. Doesn't look like a full load. It's starting to get hot. That's rotten right through. That'll be for my wood stove. Homeowner's home. So they're happy to see the wood gone. Guess it's not the homeowner, it's somebody dropping off a kid. Let me just take a quick cool off.
5 minutes later.
Okay guys, back to it, a little cooled off. Daylight is beginning to fade. Just 9 pieces left. Oh, this is going to be a nightmare with this stuff, man. Go for these ones. I don't want too much stuff on the tailgate now, so I have room to maneuver those other ones on. I have to use the tailgate for a couple of them anyway. This is the last of the smallest ones. This big quadruple barrel on. Good solid wood, no rottenness stuff. Get a lot of nice smoker wood out of these branches. All right, 3 more. Let's go up on the tailgate with them all. All right, victory. Got a lot of wood from this area. Actually, I did some work on some big houses around here, picking up wood. There's these 2 sisters who had homes that are very similar. They're not twin homes. I think it's even on the street. And just huge. Nice overhang, so you can hang out in the summer underneath the house in the backyard. Got a pool, and I did see them since they're a finished product, because I haven't been here in like 2 years. They were kind of finishing up within the year, even less than that. I was working on those sites. I got a lot of scrap metal out of them too. There it is. Let's say maybe 70% of a load that I'll do, because this stuff is so heavy, is probably about 80% of the weight that I typically carry. Like if this is a full load, then it'd be like 120%. It's just heavier than a lot of wood, you know? Alright guys, well thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, comment, and all that good stuff. See you back in the wood yard.